And this morning, deputies are still looking for the passenger in this dangerous car chase that they were led on. We also have new video that shows a struggle between the suspect and deputies. It doesn't stop there either. Take a look at this. The video shows a wild chase and arrest for a suspected drunk driver 2 nights ago when a Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputy tried to pull over 28-year-old Paul Gallegos around 11:20 Wednesday night. Suspecting he was driving drunk, dash camera video shows him speeding away, reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour. The chase on I-25 started in Santa Fe near Highway 84 to 85, but it ended near the Glorieta exit. That's 17 miles away.
We're very happy that no one was hurt. The officer was not hurt. The suspect wasn't hurt, and nobody was involved in an accident.
So when the deputy approaches Gallegos, he tries running before tripping again, falling to the ground this time. Then the struggle ensues between Gallegos and that deputy. The sheriff's office says the deputy was hit in the face in the struggle. But as Gallegos was getting cuffed, his passenger then hopped into the driver's seat and sped off. Deputies are still looking for her this morning. Gallegos now faces 7 charges, including DWI, battery, and aggravated fleeing of a law enforcement officer.
Happening now, we now know the name of the man who police are looking for after a 10-hour SWAT standoff. APD says it was investigating a carjacking Wednesday morning near Louisiana and Lomas when they say Oscar Anchondo jumped into the stolen car to get away. Police say Anchondo pulled a gun on an officer who then fired at him. Police thought they had him tracked down through GPS to a trailer park near Paseo del Norte in San Pedro, but after blocking that area for hours, they couldn't find him. Police say Anchondo is a suspect in at least 3 carjackings and 3 armed robberies in the past week.
Turn to news happening today. Authorities are looking into what caused a deadly plane crash in Afghanistan this morning. In total, 11 people were killed on board a U.S. Air Force transport plane. That includes 6 U.S. service members. 5 other civilian passengers were also killed. There are about 9,800 U.S. troops in Afghanistan at this time. The numbers are expected to dip by the end of the year.
And happening today, the Department of Justice is set to release the final review of the county police department in Ferguson. This after the deadly shooting of 18-year-old Michael Brown by police officer Darren Wilson. Brown was unarmed at the time of his death, prompting violent protests in Ferguson and around the country. The last 2 investigations by federal officials criticized Ferguson City Police and the city's court practices. The second found problems with how police responded during protests. A popular baby brand is recalling thousands of cribs this morning.
Here are the facts you need to know. Da Vinci brand is recalling 6,000 additional cribs this morning. They say a metal bracket on the baby beds can break. The company says the issue can trap a baby in the crib or cause a newborn to fall. Da Vinci recalled 11,000 cribs back in July for the very same reason.
UNM Hospital wants to help you stay healthy this flu season. They're offering more than 24 free flu shot clinics. One of them is the popular drive-through clinic that's scheduled to happen tomorrow. You can be vaccinated without even getting out of your car there. The state health department has already confirmed 3 flu cases. For dates, times, and locations of all of the free clinics, go to KRQE.com.
Well, that's pretty neat. You drive up, stick your arm out.
Super convenient, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. About 24 hours from now, and it's exciting, right? Pilots are going to be gearing up for the Dawn Patrol in the 44th annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
As we all know, the annual event draws hundreds of thousands from all over the world. This year will be no different. But organizers do have a few new attractions they'll bring to the field this year. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is live at Balloon Fiesta Park with all the details. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, you've probably heard about some new special shapes this year, including Sonic the Hedgehog, and of course the Sid Cutter's Pilots Pavilion that was built in the off-season. But there are a few more surprises that organizers have up their sleeves. For example, a laser show. It's set to accompany Dawn Patrol this year. In addition to the gentle glows lighting up the sky during Dawn Patrol, you'll also see lasers bouncing off the sides of balloons. Plus, a unique acrobatic show is scheduled. It's called Parabatics. So imagine motorized parachutes on a course similar to slalom ski. Organizers say it'll be kind of like a race in the sky. What's more, they're able to operate when balloons can't.
If the winds are too high for the balloons to fly on any given morning, the parabatics can start their show immediately. So the crowd will be able to see something even though if the balloons are not able to fly.
That's always a nice standby. And of course, if you miss those parabatics early in the morning, they also perform in the afternoons. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Catherine. Now, we're going to speak with the organizer, Tom Garrity, about what else you can expect at this year's Fiesta coming up in our next half hour.
There's some good news this morning for people living along an alley where someone dumped hundreds of bottles filled with urine. The city changed its tune and decided to clean it up.
I'm still really upset with code enforcement and city planning for saying that it was my responsibility to clean it up and that they would fine me if I didn't. That's absurd.
The city hired a crew to clean up the mess near Cole and I-25. They were out there all day yesterday. Richard Raycraft, who found those bottles and was told to clean them up himself, says the mayor's office apologized, saying there was a miscommunication. A man who decided to play fantasy football on a whim walked away with a huge win.
Oh, and I'm shaking my head because people are so mad at him this morning. He's $1 million richer today. Here is how it happened. Nick went to his friend's house on Sunday to watch NFL games, and right before kickoff, he decided, guess what, guys? I'm going to join in with you. I'm going to make a fantasy football team on the site FanDuel. He had enough rewards points that he did not have to pay a single penny on this. Sunday night, he says his players kept appearing in highlights. He eventually made it atop the leaderboard. It all came down to one game Monday night. When it was all over, he got, get this, $1 million deposited into his bank account. He plans to pay off loans and invest the money, and he should buy his friends maybe a round of beer.
Or two. Yeah, they're going to be frustrated with him. I know
You know, right now we are about 24 hours away from one of New Mexico's biggest events.
And we're getting a sneak peek at what you can expect as things kick off tomorrow. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is in Balloon Fiesta Park with a preview. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Adam. I'm here with the Media Relations Director, Tom Garrity, who talked with us last hour about some of the new things we'll see, including a laser show and parabatics, which sounds really cool, Tom. Yeah. But let's talk less about balloons and more about some of the other events going on. What can we expect in that realm?
Well, you know, in addition to the balloons and other events, you know, we have, of course, Main Street. We have 90 different food concessions up and down Main Street, and also on Main Street. Something that we, you know, have been remiss about discussing, which is the flagging system. A lot of people want to know on Balloon Fiesta Park, are the balloons flying or are we delayed? Right. And so there's a fantastic flag that is right at center stage. And we will be flying one of three colors: green, meaning all events are on schedule; yellow for where everything's on a hold; or red, that the flying events are canceled. So you know, we have that flagging system. So people just need to look for center stage. The flag is lit, and it's really a lot of fun. But regardless of the weather, we also have the chainsaw carving. And chainsaw carvings are really cool. It's at the north end of the field. I went by yesterday. It's all set up, ready to go. They'll have carving demonstrations each day out there. And so, you know, lots of great things. And of course, Canon, brand new to Balloon Fiesta for 2015, they have a fantastic tent that is set up, and they have a user experience that's unlike any other we've seen out here at Balloon Fiesta before.
Awesome. So lots to expect. We're going to send it back to you in the studio, but we will be back later today and talking more about Balloon Fiesta. Back to you.
And of course, we'll be on the field too for all things Balloon Fiesta in the coming days. So stay with KRQE News 13 for that. What better way for kids to get excited about the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta than to watch balloons set up and lift off from their school?
Yeah, today marks the 26th year of Albuquerque Aloft. Balloon pilots are expected to visit 75 Albuquerque schools, including APS and of course some Rio Rancho schools as well. That's where we find News 13's David Romero live at La Mesa Elementary with a group of excited kids just waiting. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Crystal, Adam, everybody at home. You know what, guys? There are a few kids trickling into the field over here at La Mesa Elementary just a few moments ago. The pilots and the hot air balloon pilot and the envelope itself has not shown up just yet. They're expected here any moment, but when they do, it's of course such a sight for the little kids to see. Take a look at some video from the experiences that we've covered in years past, and I can tell you from being out there at those occasions that the kids just simply light up, literally, because they get to experience it firsthand before anybody else does at Balloon Fiesta Park. And there's about 54 schools from APS that are participating in the ABQ Aloft, and another additional, I believe, 11 or so in Rio Rancho. And this has been a long-standing tradition for Balloon Fiesta to have the official kind of kickoff. It's the first flying event of the Balloon Fiesta, and it's where the pilots again come out to the elementary schools around the metro area And again, let the kids get a first-hand chance to see it up close, and they also get a chance to meet with the pilots. Now, a special deal that's happening here with the pilot that's coming to this school is that they are making a donation to the school, a monetary donation. Last year they donated jackets, but this year it's going to be cash, helping the little ones out and, of course, educating them on everything ballooning. So, guys, this is a very cool thing to see. And again, inflation is expected to happen within about 10 minutes, and it looks like everything is going to be good for a balloon launch, and anywhere that could happen from anywhere between 7 and 7:30 this morning. Back to you, Crystal.
We will keep our fingers crossed. Thanks so much, David. For a full list of participating schools, visit our KRQE News app, search under links. Of course, KRQE is your Balloon Fiesta station, bringing you full coverage of the 44th Annual Balloon Fiesta in HD. We'll have everything you need to know on air and, of course, online and also on our KRQE News app.
6:37 happening in just a few weeks. The state personnel office will sever ties with any HR matters for the treasurer's office over allegations its elected official is behaving badly. State Treasurer Tim Eichenberg is accused of making racial and sexist remarks to state workers. The state personnel office, or SPO, says the treasurer's behavior was so bad they're refusing to work with him. SPO provides human resources for the treasurer's office, as they do for more than a dozen other state offices. SPO says that Eichenberg mishandled misconduct complaints, failed to communicate with the personnel office, and called younger staff babies. The treasurer would not go on camera, but did send a statement calling the claims a personal attack to discredit him. Now on to developing news. This morning, the community college at the center of a recent mass shooting will remain closed. This as investigators in Oregon try to narrow down a motive for the terrible rampage there.
A lot of people are grieving this morning. 10 people, including the suspect, are dead. 7 others were wounded. Overnight, we learned one of the victims told her father the accused shooter targeted Christians. Authorities are identifying the suspect as 26-year-old Chris Harper Mercer. They say Mercer had 4 guns, including a rifle and body armor. They say it began when he walked into a classroom at Community College, then began firing. Now CNN is reporting one of the victims says the gunman ordered the students to stand up and asked if they were Christians. Those who did stand up were then told, quote, "Good, because you're a Christian. You're going to see God in just about 1 second." Mercer eventually died in a shootout with police. Authorities have searched his apartment. They've also looked at his social media accounts. They say he blogged about violence, including the recent on-air murders of 2 journalists in Virginia. Mercer's father was distraught.
Obviously, it's been a devastating day. Devastating for me and my family.
President Obama says mass shootings are becoming routine. He was visibly emotional as he spoke to the press yesterday. Take a listen.
Somehow this has become routine. The reporting is routine. My response here at this podium ends up being routine. The conversation in the aftermath of it, we've become numb to this.
And just this morning, the governor of Oregon has ordered that all flags be flown at half staff at government offices around the state. Authorities are continuing their investigation this morning. As of now, motive is still not clear.
Let's turn at 6:39 to Hurricane Joaquin. It continues to gain strength as it moves toward the U.S. this morning. Forecasters, though, expect that storm to take a sharp right turn and head north sometime today. This morning, we're getting a look at some of the initial damage the storm has already caused in the Bahamas. You can see there's plenty of flooded roads there. Residents also reported downed trees and buildings today. For now, Kristen Curry's been tracking the latest on this. She says that they're saying that it looks like at this point that Joaquin may avoid the eastern coast of the U.S., but we're staying on top of that. We'll let you know. Another big data breach. Hackers have stolen personal information belonging to about 15 million T-Mobile wireless customers and potential customers in the U.S. That information came from credit reporting agency Experian, which T-Mobile uses to check consumers' credit. And new on this Friday, the Vatican is talking about Pope Francis's meeting with Kim Davis. Davis is the Kentucky clerk who served 5 days in jail after refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. The Vatican now says Pope Francis's meeting with her, quote, should not be considered a form of support of her position. The Vatican adds the Pope met with many people during his trip to the U.S. because of his kindness and availability.
It's now 6:41. Moving on to this. America's busiest travel season is almost here, which means millions of people around the country are starting to plan for the holidays. But when is the best time to start buying your ticket? According to airfare experts, it's October 5th through the 12th. If you miss the so-called secret week, as they're calling it, the next best 2 days, November 6th and 7th, the number of travelers you'll see at the airport will be up this year. That's according to an Orbitz survey, rather. 71% of consumers say they're going to travel for at least one of the major holidays. That's up 5% from last year.
Secret week.
Secret week.
Now
Who
you know.
knew?
It's no longer a
give it to you
secret.
again. It's no longer a secret. October 5th through the 12th.
Get on that. All right.
I wonder why.
I don't know. You know,
Travel must be maybe cheaper that time. Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay. Balloon Fiesta is a big moneymaker for Albuquerque, but how much does the city actually expect to